Hiya, let me take you through a quick summary of the book The E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Gerber. Something I would recommend reading for all small business owners because, as it says on the front here, it helps us understand why most small businesses don't work and what to do about it. So the 7 steps that they recommend within this book are as follows. There is, first of all, the primary goal to understand your intrinsic motivations. We then need to look at the strategic objectives, organizational strategy, management strategy, people strategy, marketing strategy, and finally the systems strategy. But as it says in the very first summary here, it's not just a follow this prescription type of book. It's a call to arms. It's a call to learning new stuff, trying to feel, think and act differently, more productively, more humanly, and to acknowledge that our existing skills and understanding aren't always enough. Now is the time to learn. Now is the time to change. So it's quite a powerful message at the start of this book. But let me take you through these 7 sections in more detail. So step 1, your primary goal is to answer these questions. Who do I wish to be? What do I want my life to look like and to feel like? What kind of life is it that you want, that you're aspiring to? And what are the things that you value most personally? So you're really tapping in here, as I said, to your intrinsic motivation. But then straight away, step 2 invites us to start looking at our business and ask ourselves, what is it that our business has to do in order for you to achieve that primary goal? What is the money that you need to earn? What type of customers do you need to satisfy? How many customers? What are the standards that you expect? And he's quite clear in the book that he asks you to write this down and make this a very clear statement. Then, unusually, the invitation is to create an organizational chart, which for a company that may only have a handful or less of people in it might seem overkill. But actually, what they're asking you to do here is to consider all of the different accountabilities that you have within your business. So even though there might only be 2 or 3 people within your business doing all of the stuff, this is an opportunity to list out that stuff and be very clear that there are sales activities, marketing activities, customer retention activities, customer onboarding activities, content creation, and so on. So the idea here is to list all of those accountabilities out in an organizational structure that helps you understand all of the different things that need to happen to create a business that helps you achieve that primary goal. If you don't do this, things will get tricky later on and people will start stepping on each other's toes and doubling up and trying to do the same thing. Step 4 is to create a repeatable process that gets results. You want to be able to systematize and automate as much of this as you can. So you've effectively got a bunch of checklists. Whenever an activity comes up, you open up the checklist, you run through it, bam, it's done. All of this really is quite simple in that it has to support finding customers, keeping customers, and making sure your business is profitable. So don't waste time on anything else. Step 5 is the people strategy. So how do you deal with your employees? How do you deal with your customers? Well, everything that's gone before, you have to believe it. It has to sit in your heart, in your soul. You have to live it. You have to communicate it effectively. So this is all down to how you act and how your employees experience working with you and how your customers experience working with you and your employees, even down to the words that you use. So it's really important here to have everyone aligned around the narrative and the message. Marketing strategy lives and dies with your customer. You should be solely focused on who it is that you're selling to, which is the demographic, but there's also a psychographic element here, which is why are they buying? So these 2 elements really are key to making sure that your messaging for your outbound and your content is absolutely on point, and it's landing with the right people who have got a challenge that you solve. And the last piece here is around the system strategy. So he talks about hard, soft information systems. I don't find that particularly helpful, but what he means is that there's things like your computers, your office, your wallpaper. They're hard systems. There's soft systems like people, like ideas, and there's information systems that provide you with data about the other things and about your customers and so on. And you do need to consider these not only individually, but also how they work together, which I think is an important point. So there you go. They are the 7 steps recommended in the E-Myth Revisited. So now what? Well, what is recommended at the end of this book, and something that I think is super useful anyway to do on a regular basis, is to take a step back and look at your business as it is through the lens of these things, and decide what it needs to look like when you finally got it exactly as you want it. And then determine the gaps that you need to bridge to make your dream and your business a reality. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you soon.